Namaste. Today I'm going to read Volume 1, Book 2, Rudra Samhita, Part 1, Chapter 11, The Mode of Worshipping Shiva in the Shiva Puran. Hari Om Tat Sat. The sages said, O Suta, the fortunate, O Suta, the disciple of Vyasa, obedience be to you. This wonderfully sanctifying story of Shiva has been narrated today. The wonderful and highly divine origin of the linga has been heard. Listening to its efficacy causes destruction of misery. O storehouse of mercy, please tell us the mode of the worship of Shiva in accordance with the conversation of Brahma and Narada, whereby Shiva becomes satisfied. Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras worship Shiva. How shall the worship be performed? Please tell us in accordance with what you have heard from Vyasa. On hearing their words, Suta narrated everything in answer to the question of the sages, everything conducive to welfare and in accordance with the Vedas. Suta said, O lordly sages, your inquiry covers a very great secret topic. I shall explain it as far as my own intellect can penetrate it, and in accordance with what I have heard. Formerly, Vyasa had heard the same question of Sanat Kumara as you have asked now. Upamanyu learnt it from him. Vyasa heard it from him and taught me the mode of worship, etc., of Shiva from a desire for the benefit of all the worlds. It was directly heard from Upamanyu, the noble soul, by Krishna, i.e. Krishna Dvaipanayana or Vyasa, that I shall tell you in some way as Brahma has said before. Brahma said, O sage Narada, I shall explain briefly the worship of the linga, the phallic image. It is impossible to explain it in detail even in 100 years. In order to achieve the fulfillment of all desires, one should worship with great devotion the pure and eternal form of Shiva thus. Poverty, sickness, harassment from enemies and the 4 sorts of sins trouble one only as long as one does not worship Shiva. When Shiva is worshipped, all miseries merge into the Lord, all happiness is secured and salvation is attained thereafter. Shiva, who secures the achievement of all matters, shall be worshipped by the person who considers a continuous series of human pleasures very important. Whether they are Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas or Sudras, they shall perform the worship of Shiva duly and regularly for the achievement of all desired objects. One shall get up early in the morning during the Brahma Muhurta. About an hour before dawn, he shall remember the preceptor and Shiva, O sage. He shall then remember the holy centers and meditate on Hari. Thereafter, he shall remember me, the deities and the sages. Then he shall recite a prayer in the name of Shiva duly. Then he shall get up and evacuate his bowels in southern quarters. The evacuation of the bowels shall be done in an isolated place. What I have heard in this respect I am mentioning now. O sage, please listen attentively. A Brahmin shall use earth for cleaning purposes 5 times, a Kshatriya for 4 times, and a Vaishya for 3 times. A Sudra shall use the earth twice for cleaning purposes, or he shall cleanse the rectum once and the penis once assiduously. He shall then wash the left hand 10 times. He shall then wash each of the feet 7 times, and both the hands 3 times once again. Women shall perform these cleansing activities with earth like Sudras. They shall first wash the hands and feet, then make use of the earth as before. They shall clean the teeth using the toothbrush twig according to their caste. The toothbrush twig of a Brahmin shall be 12 angulars long. A king, a Kshatriya, shall take one 11 angulars long, and a Vaishya 10 angulars long. The toothbrush of a Sudra shall be 9 angulars in length, thus is in accordance with Smritis. What is enjoined by Manu shall be disobeyed only in emergencies. On Sasti, 6th, Navami, 9th, and new moon days, on Sundays and days of sacred rites and shraddhas, cleaning the teeth with toothbrush twig is prohibited. The daily ablutions shall be performed duly, and those in holy centers shall be performed with mantras in accordance with the time and place. Performing the Achmana, first wearing washed cloth, he shall perform the Sandhya prayer in a good isolated place. After observing the preliminaries duly, he shall enter the chamber of worship, keeping the mind steady, and begin the rites of worship, sitting on a good seat and performing nyasya, etc. in accordance with the prescribed rules of worship. He shall perform the worship of Shiva duly. Ganesha, the attendants at the threshold of the temple, the guardians of the quarters, etc., shall be worshipped, and thereafter the pedestal shall be arranged. Or he shall make the mystical diagram of the lotus of 8 petals and install Shiva in its middle. He himself shall sit near all the materials of worship around him. He shall perform Achmana thrice and wash the hands. He shall then perform suppression of breath, pranayama, thrice. Then Triambaka, 3-eyed Shiva, shall be meditated upon in the following manner. The deity has 5 faces, 10 arms, all kinds of ornaments, and the tiger hide as his upper cloth. He is as pure as the crystal. During meditation, he shall identify himself with Shiva and burn off his sins. Having thus created the form of Shiva in meditation, he shall worship Lord Shiva. Then the ritualistic purification of the body by touching the various parts of the body with holy water shall be performed. The nasya of the Mula Mantra, the root mantra, and that of the 6 angas with pranava, omkara, shall be performed thereafter. After ritualistically touching the heart, he shall start worship. Different vessels shall be set apart for padya, water for washing the feet, arghya, water for the reception of the guest, and achmana, sipping water. 9 vessels of different sizes should be kept by the sensible devotee. Dharma grass shall be spread and cool water sprinkled over these vessels with dharma grasses. Reciting the omkara, the intelligent devotee shall sprinkle the various materials of worship. The fragrant root of the plant usira and sandal paste shall be put in the water for washing feet. Fine powders of jati, kamkola, karpura root of vata, and tamalaka should be put in the water intended for sipping. Sandal powder shall be put in all these 9 vessels. Nandisa, the divine bull of Shiva, shall be worshipped beside the Lord Shiva. The latter shall be worshipped with scents, incense, and different lamps. The linga shall be purified and installed with various mantras beginning with pranava and ending with nama obeisance. The pedestal in the form of svastika or lotus shall be assigned with pranava in the 8 petals. In the 8 quarters, the 8 achievements are identified with the eastern petal is anima, minuteness. The southern is laghima, lightness. The western is mahima, greatness. The northern is prapti, power of reaching. The southeastern is parakamya, power of sufficiency. The southwestern is isitva, lordliness. The northwestern is vasitva, power of control. The northeastern is sarva gnatva, omniscience. And the perikap is the moon, soma. Perikap is the moon, soma. Beneath the moon is the sun, and beneath that is the fire, dharma, etc. And beneath that, all these shall be assigned regularly. In the 4 quarters, avyakta, etc., the unmanifest principle, and in the end of soma, the 3 gunas shall be assigned. Lord Shiva shall be invoked by the formula, I am addressing Sadyojata. Then the devotee, small repeat Vamadeva mantra and stand on his seat. The Sanidhya rite shall be performed with Rudra Gayatri mantra, and the rite of Nirodha shall be performed with Aghora mantra. Rudra shall be worshipped with the mantra Isana Sarva Vidyanam, etc. Padya, Achmaniya and Argya shall be offered duly. Rudra shall be duly bathed with water, scented with sandal in the same manner as the Panchaghavya after taking it in a vessel duly instilled with mantras. And then the deity shall be bathed invoking pranava with cow's milk, curds, honey, and sugarcane juice. Worshipping Rudra, who bestows everything that is wholesome and desirable with ghee, the devotee shall perform the abhiseka with all materials of worship, reciting pranava. In the holy vessels full of water he shall pour water, reciting various mantras after straining it with a white cloth duly. The sprinkling need not be performed until sandal paste is mixed. Then raw rice grains made beautiful by adding turmeric powder, etc., shall be offered joyously to Shankara. Offering of flowers, especially white flowers, are rare. Offering of flowers, especially white flowers and rare flowers, shall be made to Lord Shiva. Flowers of Apamarga, Karpura, Jati, Champaka, Kusa, Patala, Karavira, Malika, Kamala, lotus, and Utpalas, lilies of various sorts, shall be used. When the water is poured, it shall be poured in a continuous stream. Vessels of different varieties shall be used for the ceremonial ablution of Lord Shiva. A worship performed with due recitation of mantras bestows all benefits. O dear one, I shall tell you briefly those mantras for the sure achievement of all cherished desires. Please listen attentively. Offering of flowers and water ablutions shall be made with these mantras, whether caused to be read or committed to memory and orally repeated. The Rudra mantra, Nila Rudra mantra, Sukla Yajurveda mantras, auspicious Hotra mantras, Atharva Sirsa mantras, Shanti mantras, Maruta mantras, Samavera mantras, if desired, Devarata mantras, Ratantara mantras with Puspa, Suktas, Mrityunjaya mantras, and the 5-syllable mantra. The water offerings shall be 1,000 times or 108 times. They shall be offered strictly in accordance with Vedic injunctions or by repeating the names of the deity. Sandal paste shall be applied to the deity and flowers placed over the idol. Sweet-smelling cloves, etc. shall be offered with pranava. Shiva Linga shall be worshipped next. The Lord, as pure as crystal, the unsullied, the undecaying, the cause of all worlds, the Supreme Lord, identifying with the created world, the Lord who cannot be seen by Brahma, Indra, Upendra, Vishnu, and other deities, the Lord who is mentioned in the Vedanta by those who know Vedas as the incomprehensible, the Lord who has no beginning, middle, or end. The panacea for all sick patients, who is renowned as Shiva Tattva, the worship of the Linga shall be performed by pranava mantra along incense, lamps, naivedyas, good betel leaves, pleasant nirajana, waving of lights shall be duly offered. Prayers, obeisance, etc. with various mantras shall be performed. Arghya and flower offerings shall be made at the foot. The devotee shall kneel down and devoutly pray to the Lord. The devotee shall take some flowers in his hands, stand up with palms joined in reverence, and repeating the following mantra, shall pray again to Isana Shankara. O Shiva, O Shiva, may this japa, puja, etc. performed by me with or without the requisite knowledge be fruitful thanks to thy grace. After repeating the above mantra, he shall place the flowers joyously over the Shiva Linga. Then the rites of Svasthayana, Asirvada, benediction, Marjana shall be performed. Then homage and a prayer for forgiveness and Achmana shall be performed. Repeating the Arghya mantras for the expiation of sins, Namaskara shall be duly performed. He shall pray with devout feelings. Devotion to Shiva, devotion to Shiva, devotion to Shiva in every birth. I have no other refuge. You alone are my refuge. After praying thus to the Lord of the gods, the bestower of all achievements, the devotee shall loudly pray. He shall then perform namaskara along with the members of his family. He shall feel delighted in all these and thereafter carry on his daily routine according to convenience. He who performs the worship regularly, like this with great devotion to Shiva, shall achieve success at every step. He will become eloquent. He will achieve all his desires. The Supreme Lord Shiva will quell all his miseries, ailments, sorrows, heartburns, crookedness, poisonings, and everything distressing quickly. Just as the moon waxes in the bright half, his joy and merits shall increase day by day, certainly by the worship of Shiva. O foremost among sages, thus I have told you the mode of worship of Shiva. O Narada, what else do you wish to hear? Footnotes. This is 191, which is, I think, is the Brahmamurt Sandhya period, it is the period between the fourth and the second Ghatikas before sunrise. And here ends today's reading of the Shiva Puran. Om Prabhu Prananatam Vibhum Veshwanatham Jagannatanatham Saratam Kapura Karam Karanapata. Tuya mata chapitatumya, tuya bandhusya chasakatumya, tuya vidya dravinam tuya, tuya sarvam. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.